All right, hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to almost March, I guess, for our next monthly Non-Commissioned Officers Association update. I'm Paul Kingsbury, National President for the Non-Commissioned Officers Association. Joining me today, as always, Joe Terry, our Executive Director. Joe, how are things going?
Going great.
And this time we've got Rhonda Smith on. She's our President of our International Auxiliary. So how's things going, Rhonda?
Hello, things are good.
All right, so we'll get a little bit more about what they've got on their plates. But before we go in, I can't believe it's frankly already to the end of February. We're already almost a third of the way through the year. But a lot of great stuff went down on February. A lot of great events. We were doing posts recognizing Black History Month. So if you haven't seen those, check those out. A lot of great enlisted history and heritage in that space. And we think it's important to recognize that. And we're starting to use our social media space to do that. We'll do the same in March with Women's History Month. So there's going to be posts coming out on significant leaders, women leaders, and enlisted leaders in military history. And then as I went through and started researching all the different months and stuff that are out there, like it's pretty interesting. So this is the month of the military caregiver. So we'll put out some posts on that and some opportunities where people are recognizing military caregivers. And given that it's a COVID environment, those military caregivers are definitely taxed to a degree that they haven't been. So we appreciate their service. March 3rd marks the birthday of the Navy Reserve. So happy birthday, Navy Reserve. On the 5th, we'll celebrate the Navy Seabees birthday. So that's kind of cool. There's a lot of history and heritage there that we can highlight. This one I did not know, and Joe and I were talking earlier about it, but on the 13th is the birthday of the K9 Corps. So for all those military working dogs out there and K9 dogs, you have a birthday, and apparently there's an initiative to make that the actual Veterans Day for K9s and the military working dogs. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then on the 29th is Vietnam Vets Day. So we will do a shout out on that. I know our chairman of the board, Terry Haynes, is heavily involved with Vietnam veterans activities. And I know he's got a project he's working. So maybe we'll have him highlight that wall project he's working. So, all right. So before I pass it over to Joe, I just want to highlight I had a phone call with our legislative affairs rep, Levi Satter, and kind of wanted to get some ideas of what he's covering in the legislative space. So some things he wanted me to highlight. Number one, we're watching and supporting the honoring the PACT Act. So if you're not familiar with that, that aims to improve healthcare and benefits for veterans exposed to toxic exposure and toxic substances. So we're definitely tracking that, and he's involved in that. But if that's something that's important to you, Levi wanted me to pass on. These are things that you can make a phone call or draft of a letter to your local congressional or senator. So we're definitely tracking. And it doesn't have to be wordy, just a little paragraph, your thoughts, your insight, and that helps us keep our voice engaged and keep attention on that issue. But the engagement that we've done with other members of the of organizations in the VSO space we work with in the military coalition, definitely help shape things like passing the Blue Water Navy Veterans Act. So we definitely want to keep eyes on and keep our voice engaged in that space, and Levi's doing that. So he has eyes on, because I saw recent articles, as many of you may have, recent changes to the VA disability ratings regarding sleep apnea, tinnitus, and mental health. He didn't have anything specific to report there, but I know we're involved, or we're watching that, and so are many other VSOs, and we're looking for your feedback on how those policy changes will affect you. And then Levi's also got some work. He's working to hire a few interns so they can help us engage more on those kind of issues in the social media space. And then long term, he wants to develop the capacity to be able to have a good presence and a voice and actually initiate and be the spearhead legislative issues instead of just necessarily signing on with them. So Levi's doing some good work there. As always, NCOA Advocate is your primary resource. Levi puts a lot of good information there on things we're tracking and that he's working. But the feedback is he's pushing it out, but there's not a lot of people open and reading it. So he puts a lot of work into that. It is a communication tool we're using. So if you're not reading that, I encourage you to do it, read it, and then let us know what else you want to hear in that, but use it to stay informed. And then finally, he also said legislative committee. He put out a call for anyone who wants to help join on that. So it meets 4 times a year, and he needs people that are willing to consistently engage and meet throughout the year. So if you have a passion for some kind of issue, it could be, veteran suicide. It could be like what we talked about with the Honoring PACT Act. It could be health benefits. Heck, it could even be your advocating for converting the K-9 birthday into a Veterans Day. Take time and join our committee, because you can take the lead on one of those issues, and that really helps spread the workload in the legislative affairs space. And you can either contact Joe or Levi Satter, and their information is on the website. So those are the things I've got. Joe, what's going on at headquarters?
Okay, good evening, everybody. Hello from San Antonio, Texas. I would say sunny San Antonio, Texas. However, it has not been so sunny the last few days. We've gotten down in the 30s and the 20s in some areas. So hopefully this cold weather head out of here pretty soon. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody. Oh, yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our update. A couple of things to talk about. First of all, NCOA scholarship is still in play. We need the applications in by 31 March, if you will. Just a couple of things on that. It's the eligibility is the children and spouses of current members of the association. So if you get your packets in, we'll review those, and note that those can be rolled over for the next couple of years if the individual keeps a certain grade point average and things of this nature. Please visit our website for more details on that particular scholarship. The NCOA conference is coming up 19 to 22 July here in San Antonio, Texas. So mark your calendars, get prepared. We really would like to see at least one delegate from each of the chapters, and of course the chapter's leadership at our conference here in San Antonio, Texas. You still got some time. We're still in the planning phase, so if you got any ideas that you'd like to run by us, please do so. But we're going to be firming up what we'd like to do with that conference here pretty soon. So please prepare for that and come on to San Antonio, Texas, and join us. Our membership drive is still ongoing. Right now, we are at 427 new members as of July of last year. We're a little bit off the goal. Our goal is 1,200 by the time of the conference this year. So we're asking you to go out there and beat the bushes and trees and the windows and doors down to get some members. It's our membership chairman mentioned last month, Lady Tammy Sullivan, that in a lot of cases, all you have to do is ask, and individuals will probably accept, to go into membership for our association. And, just pick out some key points about the association to share with them as far as what we're doing in the legislative space, and also the numerous member benefits. And if you need to brush up on what they are, again, please visit our website. It's being strode across the TV or the video as we speak. So you can go on there and find out a wealth of information about the membership drive, as well as the conference, scholarship, and some other programs. Another one that's still ongoing is our World War II medallion program. It's going along fairly well. I say fairly well because, quite frankly, I'm getting a lot of, it's a great program, super great to see your association doing it, but that's about it in some cases. What we need to do is to continue to share the word with other organizations out there and individuals, and ask them to sponsor one of our World War II heroes, because I don't have to tell you, unfortunately, they're passing away, pretty fast, for lack of better terms, and we would really like to recognize them and or their family members with one of these medallions. Again, the information can be found on the website, or you can contact me directly on what's going on with that program. We do have some conversations going on about developing a medallion or a coin for our Korean War veterans as well as Vietnam veterans. We're still in the planning phases for that. So if you have any ideas on some designs, please let us know about that. We're seeking some ideas for that. The President mentioned about Levi Satter up in DC, our legislative face there. as of 1 March, he will be Government Affairs Director. I want to give a shout out to Dan Elkins, who was holding on that position for a year, almost a year now. We really appreciate Dan coming on board, getting us back on track in that space. And we got all the confidence in the world that Levi is going to take that to some new heights and levels. If you got questions about something that's going on or about a bill or something of this nature, please feel free to reach out and we'll get the word back to you on what's going on with that. Lastly, subject to any questions is this afternoon I had a meeting with one of our VFW, matter of fact, the District 20 commander here in Texas. And one of the things we discussed was memberships to all the organizations, military service organizations like ours. And we're really asking individuals to seek out one that you're comfortable with and join. If you can join more than one, that multiplies your voice. Because as a coalition, I mean, it multiplies it, by tens or more when you're talking about our organizations. And when we're talking to the congressmen and women and we announce how many members we have, and another organization mentions how many they have, some of those members, obviously, if you belong to dual organizations, then obviously that number is double. And our congressmen and women and those that we're trying to get resources and support from, they tend to listen a little better when those numbers are pretty heavy. So strength is in numbers and strength is definitely in unity. So with that, I'll pass it back over to the president.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. So just kind of my perspective on a few things. So definitely scholarship fund. So like we talked about, we're in that legislative space. Yeah, you join and you get member benefits and there's great what's in it for me kind of stuff. And you can check all that out because there is a lot there. I can't even memorize it all. There's so many opportunities, but you got to find what's important to you. But these benevolent programs that Joe talked about, that's kind of where I think, we get that uniqueness. So this ability to contribute and give back via sponsorships for members, right? So that is a member benefit, right? That's a draw. So that's one reason why you would want to draw this opportunity, because we know college isn't getting any cheaper these days for sure. So it's not a ton of money. It's not going to pay for a 4-year degree, but it definitely helps. So if you are a member or you have dependents, as Rhonda would know, you qualify for that. So check that out. And there are other scholarship programs. We got the Betsy Ross Fund. We got the Disaster Relief Fund. But, that ability that's what membership dues come in and help enable. And that's what donations help enable. So we're not just kind of out there being a voice in the legislative space. There's a lot of things we're trying to do and a lot of lines of effort we're growing. For the World War II victory medals, I don't know. I see great potential in those. I think that's a great way for, like we're going to talk, and we do talk. Our chapters are our lifeblood, but that's our connection to people, right? We don't make the connections. I can make virtual connections at the headquarter level. We can do this all day, but the chapters is where we connect with people. That's where we can engage with potential new members. That's where we can engage with the bases and our military community out there. But this World War II medallion is one example of how we can recognize our veterans, particularly, ideally, I'll recognize any World War II veteran, but ideally our enlisted World War II veterans. But I see hey, the next level, let's look at Korea medal design. Let's look at Vietnam. And then frankly, we are at 20 years now since the post 9/11 generation joined. So the post 9/11 veteran is now retiring. So that's kind of, a significant place. So, the Iraq, Afghanistan veteran, as they're becoming known, is definitely, an organization we want to represent. Like I said, that honoring the PACT Act is specifically targeted to them and their service. Not that others didn't, like we talked about with the Vietnam Blue Water Act, but that is the newest generation of veteran. You're retiring, you're coming into the space, and organizations like Non-Commissioned Officers Association are here for you. We want to welcome you, but you pick one that works for you. But if you can join more, we definitely appreciate your membership, going forward with that. So from there, Joe, I'm going to let you introduce our guest, Rhonda. So go ahead, Joe, over to you.
Okay, Rhonda Smith is the president of the International Auxiliary, and Rhonda started out very early. As a matter of fact, she started assisting with the chapter in Non-Commissioned Officers Association prior to even being old enough to be a member, which is very encouraging. And once she became old enough to join, she joined and continued her activities. She served in every position now to be at the president level for the association of the auxiliary, and she's going to give you some ideas upon what they're doing and how you can assist her. Just to give you a little idea about her hobbies, she likes to go out. She loves the outdoors, rock climbing and crawling, driving a Jeep on trails, going camping, and all of these kinds of things. So a nature buff, if you will. And she's doing wonderful things in the association. But like with anything, they need some assistance, and that particular organization could definitely have space for a lot of members. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lady Rhonda Smith.
Well, thank you. And thank you guys for having me today. With the auxiliary, we're an equal representation of the NCOA, and we're here to support and try to encourage anybody over the age of 18 that's, in the military family, whether it's active duty, retired, a former enlisted of any branch, grades E1 through E9, just like what Tammy had said last time. What we are here for is we are all members of society that respect in our country and our flag, and we promote all matters that pertain to the welfare, the social and the patriotic work of and support of all the families. What we've been doing lately is we have been going out in our local chapters, working with the hospitals, the Fisher houses. We have groups that work with elections. We just stay busy. And the biggest thing is if we could get, if we sign up the auxiliary, there's so many benefits to becoming that. With the numbers, as you guys said earlier, we get more representation and a stronger voice in Capitol Hill, where Levi Satter is so busy, working for our military personnel, retired, active duty, all of it. And going back to the scholarships, we also, the auxiliary, the chapter has their scholarship, but we also have our Betsy Ross scholarship, which currently we can grant 8 of them a year, and they're $500. And yes, every little bit when you're going to school nowadays helps. So the biggest benefit to me and what I use as my recruiting tool, not only is getting people, building the stronger numbers and trying to get people to join to, for the I'm sorry, I'm stumbling. All of that. One of the benefits of being an auxiliary member is the Betsy Ross scholarship. It's the 500 up to 500, 8 of them. Currently, we have 6 that are available. We've only given out 2 so far this year, and these can help with any, whether it be a vocational, a technical, or a school, community college. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word community college, or a big university, anywhere where you're taking a class, utilize this. And if you have family members that are going to be graduating, automatically sign them up and share this information with them. The auxiliary currently is also been recognized as something for women, which nowadays that's not the case. We also have a lot of gentlemen that have signed up that are spouses of or just family members of the military. And we have one on our board, and he's very incremental in his ideas and getting us, to think differently. But also the some other benefits, like you guys were talking about. You talked about the savings. So just as an example, I went to Office Max a couple weeks ago, and I saved $30 getting copies made using the membership by saying I'm an NCOA member and showing them the card. I saved $30 on printing. So, what else would you guys like to know?
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
I got tongue-tied.
no, that's all right. No, so that's a good. So I want to know more about Bessie Ross. So like, I would love for us to be able. So we give 6 away. You said at 500. I'd love to see us giving 100 of those away at 2,000 each.
Okay.
So how can people donate? How can people get behind? How can there's a lot of organizations that want to get behind stuff like that.
Right.
So tell us a little more. How can we donate and get behind that?
Well, this year, I mean, if you're going out and we take donations, but if you're going out for dinner every night, why not take 20 of that dollars and donate it to the NCOA with Betsy Ross? I donate we've donated, our chapter has donated in the name of some of our former members that have passed it. We've donated to them. We give 8 away, and we currently have 6 that are still available. So
Okay.
the biggest thing is anytime you have, you want to donate, you can contact ncoausa.org. You can go online, you can donate, and you can specify. You can also donate to the scholarship funds. If you shop on Amazon, they have the Amazon Smile, which is where anytime I shop on Amazon, my purchases give a little bit back to the scholarship programs.
Okay. And then we're tracking. We're like looking forward to seeing you at the national conference. I know that's going to be fun. So
yes,
we are making, like Joe said, I forgot to make that point earlier, but we're going to make some adjustments. We're making some good adjustments, right, Joe? But I don't think we're trying to. If I could, I'd just kind of make a lot. But Joe's like, no, slow it down. So I'm like, all right, let's slow it down. So, but I know the auxiliary is going to come in and do a little. I think we're looking at having you sponsor the icebreaker social and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys getting involved.
absolutely.
And get behind it. So again, this isn't Joe and Terry's association. This is our association, right? So I want you to own it. I want you to get involved with it. And there's a lot of opportunities to get involved. So Rhonda, thanks for joining us today. And I just noticed, I think I've got your name misspelled down there. So
thank you for having me.
No, absolutely.
That's
all
okay.
right,
I'm used to it.
You got anything you want? Any last minute?
I apologize for getting tongue-tied.
No, that's all right. You good. Thanks for joining us and taking the time out. Hey, Joe. So I'm like, the national conference is kind of this. Let's get there, right? We had about 250 last year. I want to see double attendance this year. So we got to
especially when we get out and get more military from the bases out to support it as well.
Okay. Yep. So we'll engage. I know we're trying to work. We have our senior enlisted panel that comes. I know we're going to work on getting some combatant commander, senior enlisted leaders there to give operational perspectives. Last year, we were fortunate to have the senior enlisted advisor, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff with us, CZ. Hopefully he'll be able to come out again. We're going to have I think Veterans Affair brief and update. And then
health agency will be there as well.
Yep. So these are things. Yes, these are leaders that are running organizations that impact your health, impact your veterans benefits. So we're going to bring them to the conference. So if you want to get in front of them, I'm telling you, the Defense Health Agency brief went really good because a lot of people got to vent their perspectives right to the leadership, of that organization. So that's what we try to do. And we're just going to, obviously we'll recognize our Vanguard awardee recipients. So I look forward to that. But definitely, block your calendar off for that time. Check out the website. I'd love to see 500 people there, if we can get, but I'll take 350. If we can even go up 100 attendees since last year, let's keep growing that thing. And then we are doing San Antonio this year, but we are looking out in the future. We want to take that thing, get it on the road, get it somewhere else. I've heard great stories about symposiums and conferences in Vegas and other places. So we'll get there. We just kind of COVID put a crimp on things, but we're getting back there. So Joe, any closing thoughts or any, hanging chads?
Yeah, let's keep the support coming. Go out there if you have not signed up. You're at least you're one new member. Let's get it done. And we really like to just break that 1,200 goal. And I know we can do it because we got almost 40,000 members or so. And even if there's a fraction of us go out there and recruit just one, I mean, we'll blow that 1,200 new members out of the water. So I would just actually go out there and share your story. If you're interested in the association and you believe in what we're doing, share that with someone, and that's pretty much all it would take for them to at least join for 1 year and see what we're about, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's time to renew.
Yeah.
That's
And
all I have. Thank you all.
yeah. And we talked about, right? You don't just join these things. I join because I see value, right? And I hope we're offering value. And if we're not, I want your feedback, right? What can I offer? What value can I create that will attract you, right? So we've talked a lot about our benevolent programs. We've got our member benefits you can check out on our website. We're in the legislative space. I'd love to be there more, but we're growing in that space. So I think we're offering value. We're trying to regain our footprint and relevance. But we need your help, and we need leadership. We need membership, and we need chapters out there engaged in the community. So I know you guys are doing it. Keep doing the great work you're doing. Tammy, if you're watching, keep that press on with that membership drive. Got your email today, so that was great. And then Linda Westby commented, thank you for the information you're presenting. So thanks for joining us, Linda. And then another Facebook user, it didn't say their name. Thanks for bringing those leaders together to allow us the opportunity to learn and talk. So that's why we do these, and we'll try to bring some other leaders and perspectives into this. So that wraps it for this month. Joe, we're getting ready to head to our monthly board of directors meeting. So I'll look forward to seeing you here in about 30 minutes or so. But to everyone, again, if you're a member, thanks for your membership and your continued membership. Help us grow. Bring people in, explain value, explain the experiences you've had, offer us feedback on how we can get better. And then for all any potential new members, check out our website or talk to a member, and help us grow and maintain relevance and achieve our mission going forward. So, and until next month, remember, there is strength in unity. So thanks, Joe. Thanks, Rhonda, for joining me. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.